A smiling girl looks at the camera. Behind her is a majestic university campus bathed in the Texas autumn sun. This picture, taken at 1437 on September 23, 2024, was the last proof of the existence of Parijat Mehra. A few hours after this selfie, the 22-year-old Indian student vanished into thin air, leaving behind only unanswered questions and a trail of digital fragments. Today, we will tell the story of how a young woman came to study in America and found death. A story of love that crossed forbidden caste boundaries, and how ancient traditions can haunt a person even thousands of kilometers away from home. She was extraordinary, says biochemistry professor Carol White, wiping away tears. A brilliant mind, perseverance, and a kind of bright energy. Parijat could have had an incredible career. We all still can't believe she's gone. Parijat Mehra was born in Delhi to Vikram Mehra, a successful pharmaceutical entrepreneur, and his wife Amrita. She was the eldest daughter in a family that was proud of its origins in the upper Brahmin caste and carefully observed traditions. From childhood, the girl was prepared for a brilliant future. Private schools, tutors, classical Indian dancing and singing. Studying at the prestigious Delhi University College was just an intermediate step before her main goal, a master's degree abroad. My parents dreamed of me going to the University of Texas, Parijat wrote in her blog 3 months before she disappeared. I finally fulfilled their dream, but isn't it time to think about my own? In August 2023, Parijat flew to Austin. Her father personally accompanied his daughter to set her up in her new home and introduce her to family friends from the local Indian community. Vikram was very picky, recalls Pradeep Kumar, the owner of the apartment Parijat was renting. He checked everything: the neighbors, the security of the building, the distance to the university. He especially emphasized that his daughter should not live with Muslims or people of lower castes. Parijat's first semester at the University of Texas was perfect. Excellent grades, new friends, and active participation in the Student Society of Indian Culture. Twice a week, she called her parents to assure them that everything was fine. The changes began in February 2024, when Parijat became an assistant in the biotechnology laboratory. There, she met Nikhil Verma, a graduate student working on his thesis on genetic engineering. I saw the way they looked at each other, says Tanvi Bagla, Parijat's closest friend. At first it was just scientific discussions, then coffee after class, then evenings together in the lab. Parijat never spoke openly about their relationship, but I understood. Something that even Tanvi did not know. Nikhil was a member of the Dalit caste, the untouchables. In India, despite the official ban on caste discrimination, marriages between upper and lower castes still cause scandals and sometimes lead to tragedies. She was afraid to tell her parents, Nikhil Verma testified during the interrogation. We knew they would never approve of our relationship. They were already looking for a groom for her in India among their own people, and we just loved each other. On August 7, 2024, Parijat and Nikhil were secretly married in Austin City Hall. The only witnesses were 2 American classmates who knew nothing about caste prejudice. Parijat did not change her last name in the documents and did not wear traditional marriage symbols so that her parents would not find out during video calls. For the last month, she was tense, Tanvi recalls, constantly checking her phone, looking around the street. She once said she felt like she was being followed. 2 days before she disappeared, Parijat called her parents. The recording of the conversation, which was saved on her computer, shows the girl's unusual nervousness. Mom, Dad, I have to tell you something important. But not now, not on the phone. Yeah, I hope you can understand and forgive me. On September 23rd, Parijat spent the morning in the lab, had lunch with Tanvi at the University Cafe at 1:20 p.m., took a selfie near the library at 2:30 p.m., and sent it to Nikhil with the caption, "I'll be there soon." At 4:45 p.m., she was supposed to meet with her supervisor, but did not show up. At 7:30 p.m., Nikhil started calling her, but her phone was turned off. At 11:15 p.m., he contacted the university security service. At first, no one took the disappearance seriously, Nikhil says. Adults disappear and reappear. It was only 3 days later, when Tanvi officially went to the police, that a real investigation began. The fact that Parijat did not take her passport with her, did not withdraw money from her card, and did not use social media was an alarming signal to the police. Her personal belongings remained in the apartment she shared with Nikhil. "We found her bag with her laptop and wallet on campus near the dining hall," said Detective Michael Ramirez. "That was the first red flag. People don't just leave their stuff behind." When police began interviewing Parijat's friends, the case took an unexpected turn. Nikhil Verma, the main suspect as the closest person to the missing person, confessed to a secret marriage and spoke about caste traditions. "I was not surprised by the disappearance of the student," said Vishal Prasad, an experienced detective of Indian origin involved in the case. "I was surprised by the reaction of her parents when they learned about the marriage. Vikram Mehra was more concerned that his daughter had married a Dalit than that she was missing." The search operation lasted a week. All surveillance cameras were checked, witnesses were interviewed, and calls and messages were analyzed. The only clue was a video from a camera in the campus parking lot, where Parijat gets into a dark sedan with an unfamiliar man. The license plate was not visible. Did the secret love turn out to be fatal for the young student? Who was behind the wheel of the car that became her last resting place? And what role did long-standing caste prejudice play in the fate of a girl across the ocean from her native land? Austin Police Station, September 27, 2024. Detective Michael Ramirez is spreading out photos of the missing Parijat, printouts from her phone and surveillance cameras on his desk. In his 14 years on the force, he had seen many students disappear, but something about this case bothered him. Usually, young people disappear because of drugs, mental problems, or running away from responsibility, Ramirez says, looking at the footage. But Parijat was not using, had a stable mental state, and was a brilliant academic student. She was not a typical victim. Nikhil Verma was the first to be called in for questioning. Pale, with eyes reddened from insomnia, he entered the interrogation room and placed his marriage certificate on the table. "We got married on August 7th, he said quietly. "No one knew except the 2 American witnesses. Her parents would never have allowed us to be together." When the detective asked him why the marriage was kept secret, Nikhil spoke of the caste system, one of the oldest forms of discrimination in the world. He himself came from the Dalit caste, the former untouchables, while the Parijat family belonged to the Brahmins, the highest caste. "My father worked as a toilet cleaner in Mumbai," Nikhil explained. "I was the first in my family to get a higher education. When I was accepted to a graduate program in America, there was a celebration in our neighborhood. But Parijat, her family had a different story." When the news of their daughter's disappearance reached Delhi, Vikram and Amrita Mehra immediately flew to Austin. They arrived on September 29th, pale, confused, and scared. Their luxurious family home in an upscale neighborhood in Delhi, their driver and domestic help, their memberships in prestigious clubs, all in stark contrast to life on a Texas university campus. "They didn't believe it at first," recalls Tanvi, who met the Mehra couple at the airport. "When I showed them the marriage certificate, Mrs. Mehra fainted right there in the terminal, and Mr. Mehra, I've never seen such fury in a person's eyes." Vikram Mehra's first wish was to meet Nikhil immediately, but the police talked him out of the idea. Instead, Detective Ramirez organized a controlled meeting at the station. "My Dalit son-in-law," Vikram Mehra said the words with such disgust that even the experienced detective flinched. "You tricked my daughter into bed and then forced her to marry you. What have you done with her? Where is she?" Nikhil shook his head. "I love your daughter, sir, and she loves me." Amrita Mehra showed the police family albums, Parijat in traditional dress at religious ceremonies, Parijat winning the chemistry Olympiad, Parijat taking classical Indian dance lessons. A girl who was raised as a perfect Indian daughter. "We always supported her desire to learn," Amrita sobbed. But we also raised her to respect traditions. She knew that marriage should take place with the consent of the elders, with a person of our circle. It was our duty to find her a suitable match. Detective Ramirez quickly realized that Parijat's parents had not just come to look for their daughter. Vikram Mehra had serious connections in Austin's Indian community. The very next day after his arrival, he met with local businessman Raj Singh, the owner of an Indian restaurant chain and one of the leaders of the diaspora. "Yes, I've known Vikram for many years," Singh confirmed when the detective invited him to talk. "We are from the same state, both Brahmins. I helped organize Parijat in Austin, introduced her to the right people. When she disappeared, Vikram was the first to call me. We are all shocked." Meanwhile, Nikhil told the police about the Mehra family's traditional matrimonial plans. "Parijat once showed me a picture of the guy they had chosen for her," he said, flipping through photos on his phone. "Aditya Chopra, the son of her father's business partner. Prestigious education, his own startup, a Brahmin, perfect for her family." When Detective Ramirez checked this information, it turned out that Aditya Chopra had visited the United States twice in the past 6 months, both times in California, but no trace of him in Texas. The investigation progressed slowly. The main clue was a surveillance camera in a parking lot near the university, which captured Parijat getting into a dark sedan. After careful analysis, the experts were able to partially identify the license plate. The car was rented with forged documents in the name of Pradeep Sharma. "It's a pseudonym," explained the technical expert. "The person who rented the car knew how to avoid recognition. Cash payment, fake documents, baseball cap and glasses on the CCTV cameras. It was all planned." On the 10th day of the investigation, another important piece of evidence emerged. Sunita Patel, a nurse at the university clinic, came forward with information. "Parijat came to us 3 weeks before she disappeared. She asked for a pregnancy test. The result was positive, about 6 weeks. I offered her a consultation, but she refused. She said she would decide everything on her own." When Detective Ramirez broke the news to Nikhil, he burst into tears. "She didn't tell me," he whispered. "I would have done anything to protect her and the baby. Why didn't she say anything?" A hidden flash drive was found in the couple's apartment. On it was a letter from Parijat to her parents, written in English and Hindi. "Dear Mom and Dad, by the time you read this, I have already made my choice. I have married the man I love. Yes, he is a Dalit, but he is better than many Brahmins I know. I know you will think it is a betrayal, that it will ruin your reputation. But aren't caste prejudices a thing of the past? All I ask is that you understand and maybe someday forgive me. I will always be your daughter." The letter was dated September 5th, but was never sent. Vikram Mehra's interrogation became increasingly tense. Detective Ramirez asked him about his reaction to his daughter's possible pregnancy by an untouchable. "In our culture, there is a concept of izzat, the honor of the family," Vikram replied after a long pause. "Such contamination of the bloodline is worse than death. But you are mistaken if you think I would harm my own child. We have come to take her home, where she belongs." A thorough check of Vikram Mehra's phone records revealed that the day before his daughter disappeared, he had called Austin, a number that belonged to Raj Singh. When the detective asked him about it, Vikram shrugged his shoulders. "I often talk to Raj about business. It has nothing to do with Parijat's disappearance." Meanwhile, reporters had already picked up on the story. Indian student's mysterious disappearance. Caste conflict in the heart of Texas. Did intercaste marriage lead to tragedy? The Indian community in Austin was divided, with some supporting the search and condemning caste prejudice, while others openly sided with the Mehra family. "This is a family matter," one Indian businessman told reporters. "Americans don't understand our traditions. Some things don't change even across the ocean." Exactly 2 weeks after Parijat's disappearance, police received an anonymous call. A male voice with a strong Indian accent said, "Look for her where the road ends and the water begins. She has paid the price for her choice. Was this the key to solving the case, or an attempt to lead the investigation astray? Who was behind the disappearance of a young woman who dared to challenge thousands of years of tradition? And could these same traditions cross the ocean and turn the American dream into a nightmare? October in Austin brought not only golden leaves, but also the first real breakthrough in the Parijat Mera case. Garbage collector Juan Garcia spotted a phone in a protective case with a picture of an Indian mandala among the waste near Highway 290. The display was broken, but the device turned on when the technician plugged it in. "I knew right away that this was important," says Detective Ramirez, flipping through a folder of photos. The phone was dumped 27 kilometers from campus, near the exit from the city. Someone wanted us to find it, but not immediately. Analysis of Parijat's cell phone revealed deleted messages from an unknown number. "We know about your dishonor. Do you think the ocean will protect you from the consequences?" Received on September 18th. "Your parents deserve a better daughter. You have one last chance to make things right." Received September 21st. "Meet me, or everyone will know about your sin. Tomorrow, 15I, parking lot near the chemical building." Received on September 22nd. The number was registered to a non-existent person, and the geolocation indicated that the phone was being used in the area of the Indian Cultural Center in Austin. Meanwhile, Parijat's younger brother, 19-year-old Ishan Mehra, an athletic young man with a cold gaze and stern manners, flew in from Delhi. "My sister would never have disgraced us voluntarily," he said at his first meeting with the detective. "This untouchable hypnotized her, maybe used drugs. Our family has a long tradition, and Parijat has always respected it." When Ramirez asked if Ishaan had spoken to his sister before his disappearance, the young man denied it, but airport cameras recorded his arrival in Austin on September 21st, 2 days before Parijat disappeared. "I came here on business," Ishaan reluctantly admitted during the second interrogation. "My father asked me to check on my sister. I wanted to make sure she was okay." A review of video footage revealed that Ishaan had met with Parijat at a coffee shop near the campus. Witnesses described the conversation as tense, with the girl crying and the young man gesturing aggressively. "She betrayed our family," Ishaan said quietly when the detective showed him the footage. "I was just trying to convince her to come home where she belongs. I haven't seen her since that meeting." The investigation took a turn for the worse when Parijat's friend, Tanvi Bagla, confessed to helping her open a secret bank account. "She was afraid of someone from the Indian community," Tanvi said. "In recent weeks, she was constantly looking around, checking to see if she was being followed. She once said that they would find her even if she hid on the moon." The secret account was found to contain $15,000, a significant amount for a student. Detective Ramirez assumed that Parijat was preparing to escape. "She was planning to disappear," he explained at the investigative team meeting, "but someone found her before she did." When the police searched the Verma Mehra apartment, Nikhil was surprised to find that Parijat's Indian gold jewelry, several sets she had brought from home, was missing. "These are family jewelry," he explained. "In India, women often keep gold as insurance for a rainy day. Parijat kept them in a hiding place behind a bookshelf. I didn't even know exactly how much there was." Experts estimated the value of the missing jewelry at $40,000–$50,000, enough to start a new life somewhere else. The most interesting discovery awaited Detective Ramirez during a conversation with Lakshmi Kumar, a professor of South Asian studies who specialized in social problems of the Indian diaspora. The caste system has been officially abolished in India, but unofficially it is alive and well, the professor said, adjusting her glasses. "And you know where it is strongest? In the diaspora. Here people hold on to traditions like a life preserver in a foreign sea. For many upper caste immigrants, the marriage of their child to a Dalit is the end of the world." She showed the detective articles about honor killings among Indians abroad, cases where families killed their own children for unacceptable marriages. These things are still happening in the 21st century. Lakshmi sighed. In the US, there have been no honor killings in the Indian community, but there is ostracism, harassment, forced return to India. It's a lot. A new twist in the case came when IT specialists recovered deleted correspondence between Parijat and her aunt Sushmita in Delhi. In the messages, the aunt pleaded with her niece to come to your senses and not destroy the family's honor. Your father will not survive this kind of shame, she wrote. Raj uncle has had a serious talk with your parents. They all agree that the situation should be handled quietly. Think of your family, not just your own desires. The mention of Raj Singh in the family's private correspondence made investigators pay more attention to him. The 58-year-old businessman had an impeccable reputation in the community, extensive connections and influence. Detective Ramirez invited him in for a second interview. Yes, I talked to the family about the situation, Singh admitted calmly. It's normal in our culture for elders to help resolve family problems. I advised Vikram to take his daughter home to India, away from negative influences. When asked if he knew about Parijat's pregnancy, Singh was evasive. If I had known, I would have advised a medical solution to the problem. There are things that cannot be fixed in any other way. The investigation received a disturbing new piece of evidence when the search team checked an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of the city, rented in the name of a company linked to Raj Singh. In a small room, they found a strand of long black hair and traces of blood on the floor. The DNA test confirmed that the hair belonged to Parijat, said the forensic expert. The amount of blood is small, but it indicates physical violence. When Detective Ramirez questioned Vikram Mehra about the discovery, he seemed genuinely shocked. Raj said he would help bring her home, that's all. He didn't intend to. A student from the next dorm room, Meera Shah, provided important information. She saw Parijat talking to Dr. Amita Kapoor, a well-known gynecologist in the Indian community. They were talking about pregnancy and options, said Meera. Parijat looked confused. Dr. Kapoor convinced her that there was a way to settle it without scandal. When the police approached Dr. Kapoor, she confirmed the consultation, but denied making any unethical suggestions. I advised her to tell her parents and husband. I offered her the options of keeping the pregnancy or having it legally terminated. Everything was strictly within the limits of medical ethics. But a nurse from Dr. Kapoor's clinic anonymously reported that the doctor had a phone conversation with Raj Singh immediately after meeting with Parijat. While the investigation was gathering evidence, Nikhil found a message from Parijat in his email, set to be sent automatically a week after she disappeared. If you are reading this, then something has gone wrong. I was planning to solve everything myself. Don't look for me if I don't come back. Just know that I loved you truly, but I couldn't let my family destroy you and our child. I'm sorry I wasn't strong enough. Did Parijat plan to fake her own disappearance in order to start a new life? Or was she a victim of those who decided to preserve the family's honor at any cost? And what role did the ancient traditions that crossed the ocean with their bearers play in this story? In searching for answers to these questions, the investigation was approaching a shocking truth that would reveal the darkest sides of cultural conflicts. I'm here to help. A short man in an impeccable business suit walked confidently through the halls of the Austin police station. My name is Aditya Chopra. Parijat is my fiancé. Detective Ramirez raised his eyebrows in surprise. Fiancé? She's married to Nikhil Verma. There's been a misunderstanding, Aditya said. Our families agreed to the marriage 2 years ago. These temporary flings don't matter. Aditya Chopra's appearance on October 15th came as a surprise to everyone but the Mehra family. An elegant 28-year-old MIT graduate and founder of a successful tech startup in Bangalore, he exuded confidence and strength. Aditya's meeting with Nikhil in the detective's office turned into a silent duel of the eyes. Parijat and I were in regular contact, Aditya continued, showing the messages on his phone. She was complaining about pressure at the university, mentioning some problems. I immediately flew out when I found out about her disappearance. A check of immigration records revealed an interesting detail. Aditya Chopra had indeed visited the United States, but not just California, as he had previously claimed. 2 weeks before Parijat's disappearance, he spent 3 days in Austin. It was a business trip, he explained, visibly nervous. Yes, I had planned to meet with Parijat, but she refused. She said she was busy with her studies. Meanwhile, the police technical department discovered that the number from which Parijat's threatening messages had been sent had been activated while Aditya was in Texas. The new information surfaced during a search of Raj Singh's office. Among the documents were old photographs that showed long-standing ties between the Singh and Mehra families. One of the 20-year-old photos showed a young Vikram Mehra and Raj Singh next to an elderly man in traditional Indian dress. "This is my father," Raj explained. "He was the guru for our community in Delhi. He was the one who arranged Vikram and Amrita's marriage. We are not just a business relationship, we are like family." During the interrogation, Raj Singh admitted that he knew about Parijat's pregnancy. "Vikram called me in a panic. I advised him to take his daughter to India immediately. Such problems are better solved at home, away from American laws." An important testimony came from Meena Chawla, a neighbor who lived in the building across the street from Nikhil and Parijat's apartment. "For the last 2 weeks before they disappeared, I saw a man sitting in a car watching their house," she said, looking at photos of the suspects. "Here, that's him," her finger hovering over a photo of Ishan Mehra. When Detective Ramirez called Ishan back in for questioning, the young man finally admitted that he had secretly met with his sister the day she disappeared. "I was trying to save her," he said, barely holding back tears. "You see, when her father found out she was pregnant, he said she was no longer his daughter. In our culture, this is the worst curse. I offered her help, money, tickets, new documents. I wanted her to go somewhere far away and start a new life." "Why did she disappear?" the detective asked. "She refused," Ishan answered quietly. "She said she had another plan, that the safest thing for everyone is for her to just disappear. She asked me not to look for her. That was our last conversation." The veracity of his words was confirmed by the cameras outside the university library, which captured their meeting an hour before Parijat got into the same dark sedan. Under pressure from the evidence, Dr. Amita Kapoor finally revealed the full truth about her encounter with Parijat. "She did come to see me about the pregnancy, but she was not interested in an abortion, but in hiding the pregnancy from her parents. When I told her that was not possible, she asked if she could have the baby under an assumed name, without documents. I advised her to see a therapist because she was clearly desperate." After this conversation, Dr. Kapoor did indeed call Raj Singh, whom she knew through the community. "I was concerned about her mental state. Raj promised that he would talk to her father and settle everything peacefully." The breakthrough in the investigation came when Nikhil found a small notebook in the lining of Parijat's old bag, her secret diary, which she kept in Hindi. "I feel the walls closing in around me," Parijat wrote a week before she disappeared. "My father must already know about my marriage. Aditya is sending strange messages. Someone is watching the house. I am not afraid for myself. I am afraid for Nikhil and our unborn child. There have been cases in India where Dalits have been killed for marrying upper castes. Perhaps the only way to protect him is to disappear from his life." In her last entry, dated September 22nd, she wrote, "Tomorrow everything will be resolved. I will meet him and try to convince him. If not, I have a backup plan ready. Mom, Dad, one day you will realize that love is more important than caste. Nikhil, I'm sorry I wasn't honest enough. Every breath I take is love for you." Computer experts recovered deleted messages from Parijat's phone, including her correspondence with an unknown subscriber signed as AC. "AC, you know this is wrong. We can fix it quietly." Parijat, "This is my life and my choice." AC, "Your father will never forgive you. Think of your family. Parijat. I have already made my choice. AC. Then meet me. I promise it will be a calm conversation. Parijat. Okay, but it won't change anything. On October 25th, police received a report of an abandoned car near Lake Travis, a dark Honda sedan rented in the name of Pradeep Sharma. Forensic experts found traces of blood in the back seat and trunk. DNA analysis confirmed that the blood belonged to Parijat Mehra. The amount of blood indicates a serious injury, but not necessarily a fatal one, said the forensic expert. We cannot say that she is dead, but we cannot rule it out either. Divers searched the lake, but did not find the body. The only discovery was a silk scarf with a traditional Indian pattern, which Amita Mehra recognized as a gift she had given to her daughter through Raj Singh in September. This means she was there, Amita whispered, clutching the damp cloth. My girl was there. When Detective Ramirez informed Vikram Mehra of the discovery of the car and scarf, he suddenly exploded. It was Nikhil. He hypnotized her, took her away from our family, and now that she wants to come back, I have an alibi, Nikhil calmly replied when questioned again. I was in the lab all day. The cameras and witnesses confirm it. I couldn't have rented that car, and I couldn't hurt the woman I love more than life itself. Aditya Chopra, upon learning of the discovery of the car, suddenly announced his urgent departure for India. Family emergency, he explained. I helped as much as I could. But the police detained him at the airport for further questioning. When they searched his luggage, they found a passport in Pradeep Sharma's name with Aditya's photo and a receipt for a rental of a dark Honda sedan. I just wanted to talk to her, Aditya said, pale in the face, to convince her to return to her family, to her caste. She got into the car voluntarily. And then? Asked Detective Ramirez. And then things didn't go according to plan, Aditya whispered, lowering his eyes. Was Aditya Chopra really involved in Parijat's disappearance? Or was he just a pawn in someone else's game? And most importantly, is Parijat Mehra alive? Or has the cultural conflict she was trying to overcome become fatal to her? Austin Police Forensics Laboratory, October 28, 2024. Detective Ramirez receives the results of the DNA analysis of the blood found in the car near Lake Travis. A complete match to Parijat Mehra's DNA, reports expert Jennifer Collins. Samples from 3 different locations: the back seat, the trunk mat, and the inside of the trunk lid. The amount of blood indicates a serious wound. Ramirez clutches the report in his hands. But there is no body. Without a body, we can't prove murder. The arrest of Aditya Chopra was a turning point in the investigation. Under pressure from the evidence, he admitted to meeting Parijat on September 23rd, but insisted that she was alive when she left him. We quarreled, he said, rubbing his hands nervously. She refused to cancel her marriage to this. I grabbed her arm and she hit her head on the door. Blood. Yes, it was blood, but it was an accident. Detective Ramirez did not believe this version. And then? Then she demanded that I take her to the bus station. She said she was going somewhere where no one would find her. She was alive, I swear. The painstaking work of IT specialists made it possible to track the movements of all the suspects on the day of Parijat's disappearance. GPS data from mobile phones showed that Aditya Chopra was indeed near the university at 3 p.m., then drove towards Lake Travis, and at 7:25 p.m., his phone was recorded near a motel on the outskirts of the city. Raj Singh's route turned out to be the most interesting. His phone was near the same motel at 2010, and then, around 23, he met with Vikram Mehra in a private office of his restaurant, Delhi Palace. It was a business meeting, Raj explained. Vikram had invested in my restaurant chain. We were discussing financial matters. At 11 p.m., on the day his daughter disappeared, Ramirez did not hide his skepticism. Vikram Mehra confirmed the meeting, but categorically denied any involvement in Parijat's disappearance. I have been looking for my daughter all day. The meeting with Raj we were trying to find a way out of the situation. What way out, Mr. Mehra? Ramirez looked him straight in the eye. Vikram looked away. A way to save the family's honor, but not to harm Parijat. Meanwhile, Tanvi Bagla, with her back against the wall of evidence, confessed to more than she had previously said. Parijat planned to stage her own disappearance, she said quietly, looking at the floor. She knew her family would never accept Nikhil or the baby. In the last weeks, she sold her jewelry, saved up money, and wanted to go to Canada under a different name. Why didn't she take Nikhil with her? The detective asked. She was afraid that her family would take revenge on him. She said, "If I disappear alone, they might believe I committed suicide out of shame. And if we disappear together, they will be looking for us forever." Proof of this was a message Nikhil received by email on October 30th, sent by an anonymous mail service with a timestamp of 1 month after it was created. "Darling, if you're reading this, it means a month has passed and I haven't returned. Don't look for me. I want you to know I'm leaving to protect us both. My family will never allow us to be together. Even in America, their arms are too long. When the situation calms down, I will find a way to let you know that I am okay. Let the world think that Parijat Mehra is dead. It will be safer for everyone. Forever yours, P." The message was created on September 21st, 2 days before the disappearance. A financial investigation revealed a shocking connection between Aditya Chopra and Raj Singh. Aditya's company, Tech Vision, had received a large loan from an investment firm, co-owned by Raj Singh. The company was on the verge of bankruptcy, and Aditya's personal debts exceeded $2 million. Marrying Vikram Mehra's daughter was his salvation, explained a police financial analyst. The dowry and capital injection from a potential father-in-law could have saved both the startup and his reputation. Ishan Mehra, Parijat's brother, had long insisted that he had returned to the hotel after meeting his sister. But the surveillance cameras and his phone showed something else. He stayed near the university until late in the evening, and at 5:30 p.m., his car was spotted on the same road leading to Lake Travis. "I was worried about her," he eventually admitted. "I wanted to follow where she was going, but I lost her car in the stream." The strangest twist came on November 1st, when Nikhil's father, Mohan Verma, who lived in Mumbai, received an anonymous phone call. "Your son is in danger," a female Hindi voice said. "Mehra's daughter is alive, but they will want to eliminate all witnesses. Tell your son to look for her in the Windy City." Baffled, Mohan Verma immediately called his son and the police. The call was made from a prepaid phone purchased in New Delhi. The Windy City? Ramirez wondered. Chicago is called Windy City, but why Chicago? Another suspicious behavior was Amita Mehra's sudden attempt to return to India. She booked a ticket in her name only, without informing her husband or the police. "I can't take it anymore," she cried when she was stopped at the airport. "I can't watch our family fall apart. I wanted to return to the church, to pray for my daughter's soul." Her luggage contained detailed records of all of Parijat's calls and messages over the past months, made in Amita's handwriting with notes such as "meeting with Dalit," "secret conversation," and "hiding something." "Have you been spying on your own daughter?" asked Ramirez. "A mother needs to know what's going on with her child," she replied without a shadow of shame. "Parijat has strayed from our traditions. I had to put her back on the right path." On November 5th, a small gas station in Cloud, New Mexico, 900 kilometers from Austin, reportedly received information from a camera that captured a woman who closely resembled Parijat, but with short hair and Western clothes. She was getting into a pickup truck with an unidentified man. "That's not her," Amita said categorically when shown the footage. "My daughter would never cut her hair. In our tradition, it is a sign of mourning." Tanvi, on the other hand, watched the same video and froze. "The earrings. Look at the earrings. They are a gift from Nikhil, small moons with a blue stone. Parijat never took them off." The enlarged image did indeed show the distinctive earrings. Identifying the man proved impossible. He was wearing a cap and turned away from the camera. But the pickup truck had Colorado license plates. Detective Ramirez called an emergency meeting of the investigative team. We now have two possibilities. The first is that Parijat is alive and escaped on her own accord. The second is that she was a victim of violence, and the person in the video is just a woman who looks like her. The decisive breakthrough came when technical experts cracked an encrypted section on Raj Singh's computer. Among the files, they found photos of Parijat in various places in Austin with dates within 2 months of her disappearance, evidence of surveillance. There was also a stunning audio recording of a conversation. Raj, we cannot allow this marriage. Can you imagine the scandal? Vikram Mehra's daughter and the son of a toilet cleaner. Aditya, I'll talk to her. She will listen to reason. Raj, and if she doesn't? Are you ready to lose everything? We have too much invested in this union. Aditya, what are you suggesting? Raj, there are methods that have been tested for centuries. Girls who dishonor the family sometimes disappear. Aditya, you're talking about... Raj, I'm talking about solving the problem. Definitely. This recording, dated September 18th, was the basis for Raj Singh's arrest on suspicion of conspiracy to commit kidnapping and possible murder. During a search of Raj's country house, investigators found bloody clothes hidden in the basement. DNA analysis confirmed that the blood belonged to Parijat Mehra. I only wanted to protect our community, our traditions, Raj muttered during his detention. You Americans will never understand. Caste is everything. It defines who you are. When a girl from a Brahmin family marries a Dalit, it destroys the foundations that hold our world together. The final chord in the investigation was the discovery of deleted messages on Raj's phone from a truck driver named Satish Kumar from Albuquerque. Cargo has been delivered to the address given. Payment received. The message was sent on September 25th, 2 days after Parijat's disappearance. Is Parijat Mehra alive? Was her death staged or a real tragedy? Who was behind her disappearance, her, or a conspiracy born out of caste prejudice? And most importantly, where should we look for answers to these questions? In the past, which haunts its captives even across the ocean, or in the future, which a young woman who dared to cross invisible but insurmountable borders wanted to escape to. November 15th, 2024, a desert area near Santa Fe, New Mexico. A group of tourists hiking in a canyon stumbled upon human remains. The body of a young woman was hidden under rocks in a shallow crevice, partially decomposed, with traces of damage to her skull. The local police passed the information to the National Database of Missing Persons. A few hours later, a request was received from Detective Ramirez in Austin, Texas. The DNA results left no doubt, the detective says, standing in front of the camera in the documentary. The body found in New Mexico was that of Parijat Mehra. She died of blunt force trauma to the head. Forensic experts determined that her death occurred around September 23 to 24, in the first days after her disappearance. The autopsy revealed that Parijat was 8 weeks pregnant. Her body was transported along small back roads, avoiding main roads and security cameras, to be buried hundreds of kilometers away from the murder site. This tactic might have worked if not for the accidental discovery by tourists. The investigation was rapidly approaching a denouement. Decrypted messages, financial transactions, and witnesses' confessions formed a coherent picture of a conspiracy centered on 3 individuals: Raj Singh, Aditya Chopra, and, most unexpectedly, Ishan Mehra, the victim's brother. I never wanted her to die, a pale Ishan whispered during the final interrogation. It was supposed to be different. We were only planning to scare her, to make her abandon this marriage. But Aditya, he lost his temper when she called him a slave to tradition. Under the pressure of irrefutable evidence, Aditya Chopra finally confessed to the crime. The meeting with Parijat, organized for a peaceful conversation, turned into a violent confrontation. She was laughing in my face, he recalled with a strange mixture of shame and anger. She said she would never give up Nikhil, that her child would be born in freedom, not in caste shackles. Then she spat in my face and said that even a Dalit has more dignity than people like me. I just lost control. I hit her. She fell, hit her head. According to the investigation, panic after realizing what she had done forced Aditya to turn to Raj Singh, who offered to hide the body far away from Texas. Ishan, having learned about the tragedy, helped transport his sister's body in the trunk of his car to a motel, where it was loaded into a truck hired by Raj. I thought I was defending the family's honor, Ishan said in tears. My father always said it was a son's duty to protect the Izzat, but I didn't know. I didn't think it would mean burying my own sister in the desert. Vikram and Amita Mehra were not directly involved in the murder, but the investigation found that they knew about the intentions to teach their daughter a lesson. Amita even gave Raj a duplicate of the keys to Parijat's apartment for surveillance. She believed that her daughter would simply be intimidated and forcibly returned to India. Even after they were informed of their daughter's death, they were more concerned about covering up the scandal than justice, the prosecutor said during the court hearings. The trial of Aditya Chopra, Raj Singh, and Ishan Mehra became a sensation not only in Texas, but also in the international media. For the first time, Americans were so closely confronted with the dark side of the caste system, which seemed to be a thing of the past. It's not traditional Indian culture that is to blame for Parijat's death, Professor Lakshmi Kumar explained at the trial. It's a distorted understanding of tradition, a paranoid fear of change. In modern India, intercaste marriage is becoming more common, especially among the educated classes. But some communities in the diaspora seem frozen in time, preserving the worst aspects of the past. Aditya Chopra was sentenced to 25 years in prison for second-degree murder. Raj Singh was sentenced to 15 years for complicity. Ishan Mehra made a deal with the investigation by testifying against other members of the conspiracy and was sentenced to 8 years. Vikram and Amita Mehra escaped criminal liability due to insufficient evidence of their direct involvement, but public condemnation forced them to return to India. Nikhil Verma, who lost his wife and unborn child, could not recover from the tragedy for a long time. A year after Parijat's death, he founded a foundation in her name that fights caste discrimination in the diaspora and helps victims of cultural violence. Parijat dreamed of a world without invisible borders, he says, standing at his wife's memorial on the University of Texas campus, a world where people are valued for who they are, not what family they were born into. Recreating the last hours of Parijat's life was made possible by the confessions of those involved in the tragedy. On September 23rd at 3 p.m., she met Aditya in the university parking lot. She got into his car, hoping for a civilized dialogue. Their argument escalated into a fight, during which the girl was fatally stabbed. Aditya drove her body to Raj Singh's country house, where he and Ishan decided how to cover up the crime. At night, the body was taken to a motel on the outskirts of the city, and on the morning of September 24th, a hired driver who did not know what he was carrying delivered the cargo to New Mexico, where Raj had a friend who helped hide the body. "Do you know what the worst part is?" reflects Detective Ramirez in the final interview. "If it wasn't for the accidental discovery of the tourists, this case could have remained unsolved. Parijat would have simply become one of thousands of missing persons, and her killers would have continued to live, convinced of their own righteousness." The story of Parijat Mehra became a symbol of the conflict between ancient traditions and modern values, between collective honor and personal freedom. It showed how easily cultural prejudice crosses borders, oceans, and centuries, continuing to claim the lives of young people whose only crime is the desire to love without limits. The Indian diaspora in the United States experienced a real catharsis after this tragedy. Many people openly spoke about problems that were previously silenced. Support groups for South Asian students suffering from family pressure have appeared at universities. But has anything really changed? Are people willing to give up millennial beliefs for the sake of the next generation's right to make their own choices? I often wonder if Parijat knew the risk she was taking, says Tanvi Bagla, her closest friend. She may have sensed the danger, but she believed that her love was stronger than her prejudices. She was not a naive victim. She was a warrior who consciously challenged the system, knowing the price of defeat. We will never know whether Parijat planned to simply disappear, faking her own death, or whether she really believed she could convince her family to accept her choice. But her story will forever remain a reminder that even in the 21st century, people are still dying across borders that do not exist anywhere but in the human mind. Every year on September 23rd, students of the University of Texas light candles at the monument to Parijat. For the freedom to love without borders is written on the marble slab. A small light against the great darkness of prejudice that has survived centuries, crossed oceans, and continues to claim lives.